Hello and welcome to coverage of the Super Sunday Series here from Renton, Washington. I'm Marshall Sutcliffe in the booth with Randy Buehler, and we're in the quarterfinals. Makihito Mahara versus Javier Luna, and off we go. Turn one play for Mahara, kind of. Dirkwood Bailoff is going to hit suspend, so tick-tock, that'll wait a while before it actually comes into play. Javier, what is he on here? Oh, he's going to suspend a Riftwing Cloud Skate on his turn.
Blue-white?
Blue-white.
There's definitely a white card in his hand.
I don't see any
artifacts. Yeah, I don't see artifacts. So that's usually what you want to be when you're blue-white, is you want to be the artifact strategy.
All right, here's another suspend. And is there a land drop to follow it up? Indeed there is. So Search for Tomorrow is going to be suspended, and Dirkwood Bailoff is going to tick down. Wow, there's a Cloud Goat Ranger right off the top, though.
Jeez.
For Javier Luna.
But island.
Yes. In fact, he's got one more island in hand and nothing else there.
No white mana.
No white mana.
Yeah, Javier Luna is blue-white. Spellbomb, Bone Splitter are his artifacts.
Does he have a Pestermite? Because I think I see one in his hand.
Aether Snipe, Ephemeron, 2 Erratic Mutations, Akira, a couple Latchkey Fairies, 3 Pestermites.
Wow, and he didn't use one here. Oh, wow. Rift Sweeper takes down. No. It gets shuffled. Yeah, Rift Sweeper takes out the Cloud Skate.
Wow.
So it's straight value there for Makihito Mahara. And it looks like, I guess, Luna is going to use his Pestermite on end step here. It's pretty common to upkeep Pestermite to keep your opponent off of their third land, but he's not going to use it at all. Also, there's a chance that's just not a Pestermite, but I'm pretty sure it is.
He's got 3 in his deck. Okay. He's got a bunch of fairies, 3 Pestermites, 2 Spell Stutter Sprites, 2 Latchkey Fairies. So, I mean, it's kind of blue-white flyers. There's not a lot of super synergy in this build, but there are a lot of good cards.
Okay. Well, let's see if he can make it work. He's playing against another deck that doesn't have a ton of synergy, but does have some. I mean, we don't want to take it all.
Yeah, Mahara has probably got more synergy than his opponent here.
Okay.
But like I said, plenty of good cards. You know, Path, Otherworldly Journey, Bound in Silence. He's got 3-ish white removal spells. He's got a bunch of flyers. I mean, the Spell Stutter Sprites count as synergy, right? Especially with the number of fairies that Luna's got.
So Mahara gets in there with Rift Sweeper and then follows up with the Plains and plays his Pallid Mycoderm. And unfortunately for Javier,
that's the
he's
big
just
story
on
of this game.
mono islands here.
Mono blue is not a deck.
Spell Stutter Sprite. He says wait.
Yeah, Pestermite.
But I mean, he's saving 2 damage here.
Right.
It's not a huge deal.
Agreed. I mean, you do what you got to do.
Sure.
He could block and trade.
Yeah.
Makes Spell Stutter worse.
Makes the Spell Stutter a little worse, but I mean, at this point.
Yeah, he's not ready to do that yet.
No, but Mahara is probably not playing too many 2-drops, and we know that Mahara has basically no other 2-drops. The only thing that
Mahara just said go, though.
Yeah,
is Mahara flooded? I haven't seen his hand.
I haven't seen his
6
hand
land, including all 3 of his colors, and he just says go?
I mean, he could be playing around Traumatic Visions.
Could be. That's fair.
All right, Saltfield Recluse here for Javier.
Plains is the big news.
Yes. Or is there an end step play here for Mahara?
I haven't seen his hand.
Oh, he's going to Torrent of Stone, and he's going to splice it.
Jeez.
Kill both of your creatures.
Wow. So time to read Torrent of Stone.
Yeah, Luna's got to pick that one up and be like, wait, I get to kill both?
Wow. Splice onto Arcane. Yeah, 4 mana, 4 damage. Splice into Arcane. He sacrifices those 2 mountains so that he can kill another one.
He gets to keep the other Torrent of Stone in his hands, and in he comes.
Mahara's deck looking great here.
Yeah, I mean, I guess an opponent that does nothing is pretty sweet. And there's a Kadama's Reach to help recoup some of those land loss that he had.
But it feels like his opponent could be putting up a resistance, and he'd still be in pretty good shape. I mean, the game's a complete blowout, given that Luna's color screwed. But yeah, this is kind of what we thought. If Mahara has time to sort of get to 4 and not be under any real pressure, he can just start dropping bombs.
It's true.
Medium, small bombs. 4 drops and 5 drops. And
there's a Spell Stutter Sprite just for no value. Yeah. He finds an Otherworldly Journey, but really what he needs to do is find something to get that Cloud Goat Ranger into play and start playing a little defense here, and something would be a white mana source. There's a 3rd Spore counter on Pallid Mycoderm.
Still reading Torrent of Stone. Crunch. Now or never.
Back. Here it is.
Nope,
No, he
not a
finds
plains.
another spell stutter sprite here. And on end step, Makihito is going to make Saproling token.
Yeah, wants to be a time to start attacking with Saprolings too. He's not going to waste his torrent on a spell stutter though, right?
No. He has lethal here a couple of different ways.
Yeah.
Mahara's
Second
getting ready
spell
that
stutter.
mana, though. Second spell stutter.
He's just in chump block mode. He
Yeah.
is going to torrent a spell
Yeah, I mean,
stutter.
he's got lethal here. So.
Right. Just got to try to keep the path clear.
Now, I think that Luna has an otherworldly journey in his hand. He does.
No blocks.
But he doesn't do anything.
Destroy that. -1/-1.
After blocks.
And he's going to journey away the Pallid Mycoderm here.
Sure.
And trade off a Saproling for his...
So he takes
spell
2
stutter
down to
sprite.
1.
He goes down to 1.
Is Cloud Goat Ranger even good enough now?
I don't think so. I mean, it would save him a turn here, but...
Right. Still, no white mana.
Nope, no white mana. He finds another
That's too bad.
Pestermite, but we got kind of a non-game there.
All right, so Javier Luna, we had him on the stream earlier. He is from Buenos Aires in Argentina. Listed his greatest Magic accomplishment. I thought this was awesome. It was building the website that South American Magic community revolves around.
Oh, that's awesome.
Really just a community builder of the first order. And again, we mentioned this earlier, but I think it's a cool story. He was actually rewarded and recognized for that with a Hall of Fame vote.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Speaking of the Hall of Fame,
Yeah.
Javier's opponent, Makihito Mahara, he will be the highest finishing player returning to the Hall of Fame ballot this year. He finished 5th, but the top 3 got in. Number 4, Chris Pakula, is going to vanish unless he puts up 15 pro points in the next couple months. So Mahara will be the highest finishing guy who will be returning to the ballot this year. And you know what? He put up a Pro Tour top 8 since then. He top 8'd Theros.
He's not just still there, he's also improved
Oh,
his
yeah.
resume,
Put up
so-
another top 8. He's making a run here. And this is a guy who doesn't travel that much.
Right.
So I definitely I like his chances this year. Let's say that much. Yeah, Javier Luna qualified for this event at Grand Prix Santiago, which was in Chile last fall. He's played some PTs. He's played Worlds. He's been on the national team. 6-3 here. I drafted the blue-red deck with Born of the Gods. Put up a 2-1 there. Put up a 4-2 with his black-white mid-range deck. Still thinks it was the best deck for the tournament. He was pretty happy with that deck choice. I think a lot of the players are. I mean, you ask these guys, you just made top 8. What did you think of your deck? Great. Got me to the top 8. I'm not going to change anything.
Yeah. You can take a look at how to get here if you want to play in the Super Sunday Series Championship as well. You can go to a Grand Prix. If you don't make day 2, you can compete in a Super Sunday Series event. There's going to be one at every Grand Prix. If you win the event, you have to win it outright, but you get the seat. You get flown out here to Seattle, where you get put up in a hotel. You get to have fun. You get to play in this awesome tournament. I mean, this is a really great little event. I got to say, these small field, high prize events have to be the best possible, right? I mean, geez, I don't care who you
Even
are.
just the hangouts are fun.
And the hangouts are fun, too. Yeah, we did some drafting.
Here we go,
with
game
some
2.
of the competitors last night. Yep, and there it is, turn 1 play here for Makihito Mahara. That's pretty important for him, especially because he just doesn't have that much going on early.
Right.
And this looks similar to last game. There's a Riftwing Cloudskate there for Luna. Mahara ticks
Does he
down
have the Rift Sweeper again?
his search for tomorrow. Does he
That would
have
be
it?
insane.
It would be. Well, he's not going to play
I
it
mean,
this turn if
doesn't
he
have
does.
to play it this turn.
He certainly doesn't.
It's not like he has any 3-drops in his deck.
He has plenty of 3s.
No, he's 4s as he's loaded on. He
Well,
doesn't
but
really
he's-
have 2s and 3s.
Yeah,
He's got a
it-
couple 3s.
he's got
2-drops
3s.
is the one he's totally missing.
2s
It's like
is
there's the Rift Sweeper.
The Rift Sweeper, yeah. Yeah, that one's a little light. He's got a couple of options at 3, and so Mahara just says, hey, do you mind if I just do this right now? Basically saving a little bit of time for us viewers and not having to watch him shuffle twice. Now, if it didn't resolve, it would be different, but he's just like, is this going to resolve? Yeah. Draws a card for the turn. So now he has the opportunity to potentially
straight to
play
4.
a 4-drop here.
It's one solution to a bad curve.
Yeah.
Skip straight to 4. All 3 colors, too. Amazing what Expanse and Search will do.
It's true.
Now, which 4-drop? I'm guessing he's got choices.
Yeah, I'm sure he does. And there's a lot of good ones, too. Imperiosaur could come down here and just be huge. No, he's going to suspend Antuka Vigilante. He wants to get that extra card going, and it seems like a sweet play here. Ooh, there's one of the Bone Splitters. That's a very high pick in this format. And he's going to play it. Ooh, but
no
no
third land?
That's
Seriously?
sad.
No white man in game 1 and no third land in game 2?
Yeah, Luna's having a rough go here. A couple of draws off the top there for Mahara thanks to the Vigilante. And he finds the Rift Sweeper right in time, too.
Jeez.
Mahara's a monster.
This is... Wow.
He looks like such a nice guy.
Stone Cold Killer.
Jeez. He's even got 3 mana left over. Is he going to play like a Germinator or something post-combat? Okay, he's going to show a little mercy here.
No land.
There's another 3-drop there for Luna.
Jeez.
Pestermite, and things are getting out of control pretty quickly, even though Mahara's really only has 2 creatures up, but they're 5 power.
Yeah.
And they're going to hit hard here. I see that there's an Echoing Truth, I believe, in Luna's hand. I think he's actually got 2 of them. Oh, he's got a Path. All right. Path to Exile. Mahara's like, yeah, this is fun. Look at all these lands I have.
I'll get a mountain that I can sack later to Torrent of Stone.
Exactly. And they're sitting on Wood Readers with Kicker. Draw a couple more cards here.
What a blowout.
Yeah, this is getting a little ugly here if you're a Luna fan. And unfortunately, his only play for the turn is to resuspend Riftwing Cloudskate, which means that's not going to affect the board forever. And
Rude
there's
Awakening!
Rude Awakening.
With the Kicker,
Turn
send them all
everybody
in,
and
put you
ship
out of
them
your
in there,
misery.
and
There's the handshake.
Javier Luna has to shake his head.
Didn't
That's a
really
tough
get to
finish.
play. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
he's got to be feeling pretty good about making the top 8. He's got to be feeling pretty good about the $1,000 he's won, but I think he would have enjoyed actually playing Magic that quarterfinal.
Yeah, you can see him taking a pretty big sigh there. You can't blame him. That's a tough loss to take.
Yeah.
I mean, it's bad enough that you make it to this point and then you sit down and you have to sit across from Mahara, and then on top of it, you just don't draw any lands. Let's take a look at our upcoming webcast schedule real quick here. Grand Prix Paris is Legacy, February 15th and 16th. The next weekend after that is Pro Tour Born of the Gods. It's going to be Modern. So we had a recent shakeup with the Modern ban and restricted list. And it's also, of course, limited with Theros and Born of the Gods draft. That's February 21st through 23rd. Grand Prix Melbourne is the next weekend at Standard, March 1st and 2nd. There's 2 events that weekend. There's also Grand Prix Barcelona, which is Team Sealed Deck, the next weekend after that. And if you've noticed, I haven't stopped saying that sentence.
All the
These are
weekends.
all in succession.
All streaming all the time.
Is Grand Prix Richmond, which is Modern, on March 8th and 9th. And then another weekend after that is Grand Prix Montreal, which is going to be Limited, March 15th and 16th. So if you're going to be, if we're in the middle of winter here in the Northern Hemisphere.
Yep.
If you're going to be at home hanging out because it's too cold to go outside, well, we're going to be hanging out with you all weekend for the foreseeable future. So we certainly hope that you'll join us.
Let's go see how Owen was doing.
Yeah. So we're gonna jump over to our other match.
Looked like they finished 1 game. I think they're sideboarding for game 2.
Indeed.
I can't imagine they finished 2 games yet.
Owen Turtenwald looks to be down a game potentially here versus Manuel Maya, and
Germany versus the USA in this match. This is the other side of the bracket, so we could, in theory, have number 12 versus number 13 in the finals, if the brackets break that way. I mean, if the matches break that way. All right, Manuel Meyer from Germany, Tübingen, qualified by winning the Sunday Super Series at Prague. He does have a couple of Grand Prix top 8s on his resume, 2-time GP top 8er. And I also found this pretty interesting. He lost the Super Sunday Series finals in Rimini, only to win one a month later.
that's insane.
Yeah.
He made it all the way to the finals.
He made it to the finals twice. 2 different European Grand Prix last year. Lost the finals in Rimini. I'm not sure which player he lost to, but presumably one of the players who's here. And but then won a month later
That's
in
really
Prague.
impressive. And 2 GP top 8s under his belt, too. That's really impressive.
Yeah, 2-1 in draft, 4-1-1 in standard. Played another Orzhov mid-range player.
Yeah, we got a chance to watch him
That's
play.
funny. He played Orzhov mid-range in both draft and constructed.
We got a chance to watch him play standard, and Sam Stott and I were both duly impressed by his skill. He could have made some pretty big mistakes that weren't obvious, and he managed to work around all of them.
Yeah, no, he's a GP grinder,
Yeah,
essentially. He's
exactly.
played a lot of Magic at premier events at high levels.
Speaking of GP grinders, he's staring across the table at the GP grinder.
Indeed. Yeah, Owen won
2 GP wins in the last year.
And then Atlantic City, he didn't even make day 2, but wins this Super Sunday Series.
Man knows his GPs. All right, so I see swamps on both sides. I don't know what Owen's draft deck looks like. It looks to be fairies, though. That's a Wrathy Trapper.
I thought you said the Rebel deck was black-white.
Yeah, you can run it. You can run Trapper in this deck to help keep the huge ground creatures down while you beat down in the air, but I want to see more of his deck before I figure out exactly what he's doing. Giant Dust Wasp starts on 4 suspend counters, it looks like. Or is it 3 now? And so this is what I was talking about in the last one. You see this more often than the other play, which is sort of holding back with your Pestermite. And he actually has a play. He's going to use his mana to do Gleam of Resistance to go grab a basic land here. So not too bad. I mean, Meyer at least going to get something out of it. And interestingly, he goes and finds
Island.
A 3rd color.
Is he the one who opened Trump?
Absolutely
Odds
possible.
are somebody did.
I love the start from Owen here, though. This is definitely a good start for fairies. I mean, things can get kind of snowball for him from here, potentially. Oh. He drew a Dirk. I think he has a Dirkwood Bailout there, but no forest to suspend it with. Is that?
Yeah.
I think I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, he taps his
There's a
forest for the land
logic
cycling.
off the top for Owen Turtenwald. In the meantime, it's battle time. Get in there for 3. But what is his play this turn? This is an interesting one. I don't know if he has a second island where he can use not as perhaps a hard counter. No, he's going to continue to develop his board. He's basically land cycling Traumatic Visions to go get the second island so that he can turn on Logic Knot for later and not miss a land drop this turn. Now, the question also is, does he have a 2-drop here? That would be pretty sweet.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, Meyer looks very 5-color.
He does. And he does not have a 2 at least yet. Ships a turn back. Giant Dust Wasp. Ticking. There's a Spore Elf Ancient.
That's 4 colors.
So we're 4 out of 5 colors so far. And I think we're going to see an Oracle here.
Wow.
There it is.
Nice turn 4/4/4.
Not too bad. Owen Turtenwald can pretty readily keep that at bay. He cannot keep the ability to draw a whole bunch of cards from it too well at bay, but it's possible.
Whisper.
All right, he's going to play Whisper and shut down that mess right away. Get in there for 3.
Get out of there.
He's also
Clear
got Logic
path.
Knot available for 2, I think, right now. Was that a Cloud Goat Ranger off the top for Emmanuel Meyer?
Was it?
I think it was. Now, this is interesting.
Do you Logic Knot this?
I think you do because, I mean, your Logic Knot tends to get a lot worse after they resolve
definitely.
that.
And you're clearly playing against a 5-color deck.
That's right.
Or at least a 4-color deck.
So Owen has stayed ahead on the tempo at every single turn of this game.
Yeah, a lot of people will let Kodama's Reach resolve there, but no, I totally agree with you and Owen.
Yeah, so the question
Logic Knot
here is,
that.
can he find a little bit more to beat down with?
Right.
The 3 is okay, but here comes a Dust Wasp, and that's going to get Traumatic Visioned right out of here. But this means that Manuel Meyer has a turn to resolve something.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's not too bad. Saltfield Recluse next turn is going to be quite good here. Because he can use it in response to Trapper anyway. He doesn't care about what stage of the turn we're at here. Here's Careful Consideration. So this is a main phase. So Owen is going to get a chance to really load up his hand here and try to find the right answers and or threats that he needs to finish this game. Remember, he's down a game to Manuel Meyer here, and he needs to find a way to stay ahead. Okay, so he can attack, and he's left the 1 black up so that he can tap down the Recluse on his opponent's turn so that he can't use it on his turn and keep that Pestermite from attacking. I mean, Owen sees the writing here. He's 4 turns away from picking up this win off of just the Pestermite. Now, unfortunately for him, his opponent has a bunch of stuff in hand, but I don't know. I think he has a Moloku in his hand right now and a Cloud Goat Ranger. He can't cast Cloud Goat Ranger, but he could definitely slam Moloku.
Owen doesn't realize that countering Kodama's Reach turned off Cloud Goat Ranger, but it did.
But it did. And he's going to pass a turn back, and I think he's planning to use that Reach of Branches. But yeah, and it's a little bit misleading because while it says reach on the name, it doesn't have that ability.
Not bad.
Okay, he's going to drop Manuel Meyer down to 6. And Owen's going to...
That's all.
All right, he's digging
Wow.
and digging, so he didn't find
Another
what he
careful
needed
consideration.
then. But, I mean, he's seen 10 cards over his last 2 turns.
True.
So if the tools are there, he will have found something. Gets rid of some lands. And
Yeah, end step.
I don't think he cares about reach of branches at all, though, right? I mean, 2/5 green tree folk shaman creature, sure. Knock yourself out. All that matters is the Pestermite and its ability to get into the red zone for 3 more turns. Or some type of life gain. Now, this is obviously huge.
Yep. Meyer's up to 6 mana, which is enough to play Moloku and have a land untapped to make a token.
Moloku resolves.
Wow.
He's going to tap that thing into turn, and that means he doesn't have another Hirobi's Whisper in his hand, at least not right away. Needs something, a death rattle, something to get that thing off the way. But the problem, of course, is that he's going to get that
7?
back anyway. Wow. That is split second. Take control of your permanent. His opponent can't do anything.
Even respond and make a guy.
No. Take possession, and for Owen Turtenwald, it might mean take this game.
Take possession of game 2.
Yeah. And that's it.
Yeah.
Owen Turtenwald evens things up, flippantly throws Moloku back. Thanks for letting me borrow that for a minute. And we're going to get a game 3 here. There's Owen, well-known professional Magic player from Milwaukee. He's a Platinum Pro. He's got a Pro Tour top 8. He finally scratched his name off that list. And even more finally, after having 12 or whatever Grand Prix top 8s, he finally won one and then decided it was so much fun he would do it the next weekend again. Yeah. Now he's got 14 Grand Prix top 8s and 2 victories.
Yeah, he's been on
Slightly
quite the
above
run lately.
expectation, right?
There you go. Yeah, 2 back-to-back Grand Prix has only been done a couple of times, so
Yeah.
he's a short list of players. He listed that as his biggest Magic accomplishment. He's been listing Player of the Year for, he's filled out a lot of the bio forms, is what I'm trying to say. If there's a top 8, Owen's got a decent chance of being there, and greatest Magic accomplishment has been Player of the Year. But
Yeah, he
third
was
person to do back-to-back.
Yeah, he was.
There have been 11 Players of the Year. Back-to-back GP champs now. The biggest Magic accomplishment of his career.
And really cool, too, that he did it in 2 different formats.
Oh, yeah.
Because sometimes you pick up a deck, maybe you break it a little bit, or you're just that far ahead of the curve and you just bink 2 things in short succession. But for him, it was completely different. It was Legacy and Standard. Yeah, so it really does show what a well-rounded Magic player Owen is. Yeah, his deck list is listed. We listed it as blue-black control, which it actually does seem. It doesn't. We only saw 1 actual fairy card from him. So.
Yeah, we don't have their deck list, right? We only have the 2.
I'd love to take a look at Owen Turtenwald's list. My guess is that it is not an amazing deck. It looks like he's scraping victories out a little bit, but I haven't seen the list, and there could be a lot of really good stuff that he just didn't draw. 2 careful considerations can certainly help get you to the good stuff that you need, but Manuel Meyer is 5-color green. Can take advantage of a few different domain cards, a few different sunburst cards, and just the ability to cast spells of all colors frees up your pack 3 and a lot of times a lot of your pack 2 to pick just kind of whatever the best thing is in the pack. That game, Owen was firmly in the lead for the first 2/3 of it, and then it got slightly shaky, but he was able to craft his hand really nicely. Take possession with split second on Moloku is just, what a backbreaker.
Yeah. I wish we could find somebody to bring us the deck lists. I'd love to get a good look at what he's got, and maybe even updates on the other 2 matches. Rashad's giving me the death stare. But he's moving.
He's also walking out the room. So. All right. This is a big one here. This
Yeah,
is
yeah.
a game 3 to make the semis.
You know, $500 on the line plus the chance to play for 5,000.
That's right. All right. Vivid Creek for Manuel Meyer, and an island kicks things off for Owen. Manuel gets to be on the play here. He's going to use green mana to suspend Dirkwood Baloth, but that's his only turn 2 play here, and he's already down a counter, so I don't think Owen's too worried about that. He's going to pass the turn back. And Creek is all the way down to island status, and there's another Baloth. So we can see Manuel Meyer's game plan here. He is, in about 4 turns, he's going to have an army of huge green fatties, and Owen needs to come up with some way to either combat those or put enough pressure on that that's too late.
Yep. It'd be hard to win the game in 4 turns.
Owen's come up with nothing so far. He's hit his 3rd land drop, but has no play for the turn. Did not fire off a Pestermite this time. And Manuel Meyer says, go. I'm going to do nothing. And Owen Turtenwald has no end step play at all. And he's now hit 4 lands and has not played a spell. Manuel Meyer has also not technically played a spell, but he's got 3 ticking down here. In 2 turns, he's going to have 8 power of haste on the board, and a turn after that, there's going to be another 5 joining the party. And here's an Apocryphite for Meyer, which doesn't really do much here either. And here's an end step. Careful consideration. Now, does this tell Manuel Meyer that Owen Turtenwald probably has Logic Knot here? He waited till the end step to do careful consideration instead of the main phase.
I mean, he's clearly got instants, yes.
So, something to consider for Meyer.
Meyer does not have Trump the Domains in his deck. We have the deck list now. Got a little bit of everything. I mean, it looks like a pretty solid deck.
A little more evidence that maybe there's not a Trump in the field.
Yeah. 2 Kodama's Reach to set up. A bunch of fatties.
All right, let's see what Owen can come up with. I mean, he just hasn't been able to do anything yet. Unfortunately, Logic Knot does not work well against Suspend. I mean, it's not that you can't get him, but it's hard. All right, here's a Marsh Flitter. Announces his trigger. And he's getting a couple of Goblin Rogues, and he also follows it up with a nice removal spell with the capsule there. Executioner's Capsule can 1 for one of these big green threats that's going to be coming into play soon. And you see Manuel Meyer kind of get that card warmed up a little bit there, and he does in fact find a land, which is, I'm assuming, what he wanted, as he missed a land next turn. Owen's going to take the 1 damage here from Apocryphite. And I think we're going to see Masked Admirers here.
Sure.
From Meyer, we do. He gets to draw a card. He's already played his land for the turn, takes a quick glance at it, and ships the turn back. So Owen Turtenwald, now with a much better board state here, he actually has a way to apply a little bit of pressure, and he's got a removal spell as well, but he is facing down so much beef on the other side of the table.
I also see Moloku in Meyer's hand.
Oh, no. I mean, Owen has a removal spell there, but he's got a lot to contend with here, and if he uses a removal on Moloku, he still has to kill 2 5/5s and potentially a 3/3 flying, and maybe even 3/2 on the ground at some point here. All right, I'm assuming that was Traumatic Visions being basic land cycled. Could also be Absorb Viz. Didn't really show us. He's going to go get an island and play it. And he's attacking for 1 with Marsh Flitter.
Yep.
Meyer goes down to 19. Okay, there's an interesting one. There's a Stinkweed Imp for Owen Turtenwald. That's pretty darn good against these huge green creatures. And he can just block, dredge it back, block, dredge it back. Sure, it gets a little sketchy at some point with milling yourself, but it really does become quite difficult to get through at some point. I'm assuming that came in out of the sideboard for Owen. It did,
yep.
And I love that as a sideboard card against these big green suspend decks. And Manuel Meyer says, well, if you're going to use your Stinkweed Imp, that's fine, but I'm not going to give you that much for it. I'm going to make you think a bit here. But really, you got to be thrilled if you're an Owen Turtenwald to see it, as Stinkweed Imp is completely doing its job here, holding off 13 power. And he's going to block the Apocryphite, take 3 damage, drop down to 16. Apocryphite's going to hit the old suspend again. And what's the follow-up play here from Meyer? Kodama's Reach.
Sure.
Resolves. So now he's going to be in a good position to take Moloku, to play Moloku and even have a few activations in his pocket next turn. He plays his land for the turn and, of course, gets the one off of Kodama's Reach, and he's going to play a Flicker Wisp, and he's going to play it, and he says, Owen says, hold on a second. So Flicker Wisp is going to be targeting Masked Admirers here. Manuel Meyer looking to draw another card.
Sure.
And Owen's going to allow that. And it enters the battlefield on end step, and he draws Etched Oracle. All right, looks like Owen's going to draw a card here. And he's going to kill something with Roby's Whisper. So this is a nice little sequence here for Owen.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's going to destroy the Baloth, get it back to his hand, and draw a card. So the grind begins for Owen Turtenwald here. He has started to mount a bit of a comeback. Doesn't seem to be very big on actual win conditions in the deck. I mean, so far we've seen a Marsh Flitter this game, and last time he basically rode a Pestermine to the finish.
Take Possession was pretty good.
Good point. That's true, and could be good in this game as well.
Update on another match, by the way. Klaus Gruber is through to the semifinals. Quick 2-0 against Tan Gao. So he'll be Makihito Mahara's opponent.
Okay. All right, so we have a Jerkwood Baloth joining the team, Apocryphite ticking down, but Owen Turtenwald tapped out on his turn for Errant Ephemeron Hardcast, good old-fashioned way.
Sure.
And it looks like we've got a bit of a standoff here.
Yep.
Right now, Manuel Meyer has Moloku in his hand. He's also got a Penumbra Spider.
Chi Hoi Yim up a game against Andrew Robdrup. Sort of Light and Shadow is still good.
Ah, yes. New artwork on that one, too. It's beautiful.
Sure.
Chris Ron. All right, and there's the Oracle with 4 counters on it. Now, this gets a little bit interesting, right? I mean, does he want to just cash this thing in? Does he want to risk take possession, staking that, and just giving him and refilling Owen Turtenwald's hand? Could Owen even do it? Yeah, he's going to do it right now. Draw 3. And he found another Kodama's Reach. He might just want to thin out his deck if he's going to do nothing else for the turn anyway. And there he goes. And I bet you he wishes he had one of those Rude Awakenings laying around somewhere. But Mahara likes those too much. Passes the turn back to Owen. So we have a fairly stable board state. Owen Turtenwald looking for a way to break through here. Manuel Meyer also looking for the same thing. Stinkweed Imp is a huge problem for his deck.
Yeah, Meyer's really been slow rolling that Moloku, too.
He really has. I guess he feels like it's not going to change much on the board as it sits. So
I mean, Stinkweed Imp blocks the tokens, too.
It does. It does.
Owen's still sitting on 16, so...
Yeah, neither player's really in a position to do huge chunks of damage. They can find a little bit here and there, but even then they're risking a lot.
Hey, what's going to break the stalemate? What do these guys have? What are they waiting to draw?
I mean, take possession is one that, Owen Turtenwald can fire off
Sure.
potentially. I mean, this interestingly could come down to decking.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been a lot of card draw and a lot of stuff on Manuel Meyer's side. All right, so Aaron Ephemeron is going to get in there. Owen would have been fine if with a big fat trade there for Flicker Wisp and Dust Wasp. He's like, yeah, you're not going to do that, so I'm going to attack. And that's going to bring Manuel Meyer down to 15. There's another land for Meyer. He's got infinite lands on the table here.
Yeah, the Dispeller's Capsule, or the Executioner's Capsule makes it really hard for Meyer to double block anyway, right?
Absolutely. Of course. So Meyer's sitting here with some defensive creatures in his hand, like the Penumbra Spider that's not going to be crashing through anytime soon.
That's, of course, why Meyer's not playing Moloku.
Right. Right. So Massive Myers enters the red zone because, heck, Myers like, sure, kill this. Like, I want to keep drawing cards off of it, and Owen declines the offer. And there's a Penumbra Spider. Now that can help keep the Aaron Ephemeron at bay for a while. And he's going to follow it up with Sporloth Ancient. It's the only thing making Saprolings right now. It could give him some inevitability down the line, but right now it's just slow. It's going to take a while. I mean, he has a ridiculous board right now, and that Stinkweed Imp is working seriously overtime. I mean, at some point he can just start turning everything sideways here. And just make Owen dredge and get that Stinkweed Imp, but just clear out the rest of his board. I mean, Owen's only at 13.
Yeah, but I mean, the Capsule's doing good work here, too. I mean, that's the thing. Owen can kill a creature whenever he decides he needs to.
Yes.
Although, if I'm Manuel Meyer, I want to force that to happen so that I can then play Moloku.
Sure. All right, Giant Dust Wasp gets killed by, and remember, Manuel Meyer knew about that Heroic Beast Whisperer in Owen Turtenwald's hand as well. So Owen essentially had 2 onboard removal spells at his disposal.
Yeah.
So that's got to be working into Manuel Meyer's thought process as well. And, I mean, Owen's clearly on the I'm going to keep attacking you with Aaron Ephemeron until you're dead plan. That's what he wants to do here. Now, this also, of course, could prompt a double block. And if it were to, I mean, are you that sad if you're Manuel Meyer if Owen Turtenwald eats half of your spider and uses his capsule on your Flicker Wisp? I mean, that doesn't seem that bad, right?
Right. Yeah, now that it's a spider and it's only half, he's only down half a card.
That's right.
I think he's happy to force Owen to blow the capsule and clear a path for Moloku.
I'm sure that they're getting the spider token here.
Yeah.
There it is. So that's also a 2/4 with reach.
Hypocrisite comes back.
And it also gets 3+1/+1 counter. So now he's got a 4/4, a 4/4, a 5/5, and a 3/2 on the ground, plus a 2/2 with reach.
He's got some stuff.
He definitely has stuff. And I mean, when you look at Owen's board, yes, he has a bunch of cards, but he has a 1/1, a 1/1, a 1/1, and a 1/2.
The 1/2 is awesome. He's like all powerful.
But Manuel Meyer's going to continue to stay patient. He's not going to throw anything into the Stinkweed Imp here.
Owen's willing to trade it for Hypocrisite.
Yep. Okay, so the board is getting whittled down, but still you see the 5/5 and the 4/4 there, and there's a Cloud Go
I didn't even
Ranger.
see that one in his hand.
Wow. And that's going to get countered.
Okay.
Yep. Traumatic Vision says, no, sir. And there's Moloku as the follow-up play. Now, does he have a take possession?
That's the game, right? It's take possession or no.
So this is a big untap here. And a big either draw step or maybe he's already got it. I haven't quite seen it.
No, I haven't seen his hand either.
But you got to figure he's got a lot to worry about.
He already
now.
took possession. Oh, there it is. Took possession of game 2, and now he goes to take possession of game 3 as well.
He's going to make an illusion right now.
Yeah. Hey, replay the land.
And
right?
replay the land. And attack for 4. Manuel Meyer drops down to 11.
Jeez.
Owen Turtenwald makes a big play here.
Stole the Moloku again.
Try to make it in. to the semifinals here. It's felt like Owen's been kind of behind this game, but Mahara hasn't really pressed.
Well, I mean, Meyer had to slog his way through that removal and clear a path from Maloku, but you know what? That was more where that removal came from.
That's right.
There were even worse things.
And Meyer's had enough.
Yeah, now he's like, why couldn't I just get my Maloku capsuled?
And this is a huge issue, though, right? Because now Owen Turtenwald can just start chumping with flyers.
Oh, yeah.
He can manage his clock however he wants. He's going to block with both the Marsh Flitter and his Spirit Token. He's got his opponent on a 2-turn clock. There's a Meadow Boon. And the Meadow Boon looks like it's going to be evoked here.
Sure.
So it's going to add +1/+1 counters to each of his creatures. Remember that Swirloth Ancient has a 2 counters on it.
Trigger once the counters are resolved. It just triggers when you play a spell, right? Whenever you cast a creature spell. All right. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay, so what happened is Manuel cast a spell. Did not trigger his.
Oh, he forgot to take down the Apocryphite.
And so Owen said, "Well, you've already put the counters on my card, so that's resolved. Like it's when you cast it that it triggers." And so he said, "Okay, no." All right, so Owen Turtenwald makes an illusion. Again, he's on a 2-turn clock here potentially, though the spider could slow that down. Being a 3/5 spider is pretty huge. He's going to dredge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He found a Wrathy Trapper and a Gravedigger there that Warren Pilferers put into his graveyard. And is he sending the team?
Looks like it. Spider can block.
All right, so Spider's going to block.
Blocks the Ephemeron, which is a bounce.
So are we going to see Owen Turtenwald move
1, 2,
in
3.
here? And just
I'm sure he's thinking about it.
Is he just going to, are we going to see all these lands come back besides
replace
those?
Stinkwib. So he can make 5 illusions on end step, picking up all 5 of those lands.
All right, so a little awkward there. At the end of turn, Manuel made a Sapperling, but that means that one doesn't get the counter that he got from the from the Meadow Boon. So if Owen has nothing left in his hand, we could see him just return tons of lands.
Well, he knows Meyer's in top deck mode, so.
That's right. Owen's at 13. Meyer does not have red mana. Is that right? No red?
True.
Oh, yeah, right.
Why, is the card in his hand red? I haven't seen the card in his hand.
No, I'm just saying, like, Owen can do a little dance here where he wants to try to finish the game next turn, but that might include taking some damage here and potentially opening himself up to, like, Tribal Flames or, some big hit.
All right, so if we assume the Spider is going to block Ephemeron, then Owen's currently got 3 power of attackers. He's made 1 token. So Stinkweed Imp is going to block and pick off that Sapperling, making it
but
even.
Stay alive.
Stay alive because, Meyer forgot to make it before he suited everybody up with +1/+1 counters.
All right, Owen's
now, 3, 4, and Stinkweed Imp is alive. So, 4 tokens. This is 8.
And that's 4. He's got 4 spirit tokens here. From this turn.
All right, here's all
and
the
this
flyers.
is it. Owen Turtenwald shipping
anything?
the whole team in there. That's 2,
block
3,
the
4,
Ephemeron.
5, 6, 7, 8 damage, and that's it. Owen Turtenwald finds the victory there, very calmly advancing to the semifinals.
Jeez.
Now it looks like we've moved another match
Awesome.
into the main one. Why don't we bump over to that one shortly? Great stuff from Owen there, and he's in. He's into the semis.
Yeah, Turtenwald advances 2 games to 1. Took possession of that match, pretty much. Gruber and Mahara are going to be playing in the semis. Who's going to be playing against Owen Turtenwald? Will it be Chi Hoi Yim from Alabama, or will it be Andrew Robdrup from Canada?
Let's take a look at what each player is playing. Here's another 5-color deck. This one looks like it's gone horribly awry, though.
You think?
Well, I see an Arcbound Stinger, and that's not a normal inclusion in the 5-color deck. But I do see that he's got a Skyreach Manta and a Bone Splitter, and those are both quite good. There is one deck that you don't see very often, but it's 5-color artifacts.
Okay.
And that actually probably is what he has
here. 5-color artifacts?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, that one doesn't pop up as often as you might
Frogmite
think.
Mirror Enforcer. Yeah, no, he's artifacts.
Definitely.
Sanctum Gargoyle.
Yep.
He's got an Esperzoa. He's got 3 Ethereum Sculptors.
Okay.
This did not go horribly awry.
No, not at all.
This went horribly right.
Probably, yeah. So it's interesting because what it means is your basic lands are colorless. So you can just afford to play stuff. So you get like a Skyreach Manta for 4 there kind of for
his
free.
mana base is 7/4/3/1/1.
Yeah.
And an Academy Ruins.
So this is actually just sweet.
Yes.
And
what's the game score here?
yeah, we're getting the graphic updated as we speak. 1-1.
All right.
And it looks like Chihoi has, well, no permanents outside of his lands here. I see there's a Manamorphose and a Hanakami in the yard, so he might have gone kind of deep here. There's a Lightning Helix to kill the Stinger. He's going to modular the counter over to his Skyreach Manta.
Yeah, he is 5-color good stuff. A lot of 5-color at this table.
Uh-huh.
I feel like everybody wanted to draft 5
I
colors.
see a Kodama's Reach also in Chihoi Yim's board. Yeah, it's a very popular archetype.
Yeah, Chihoi we mentioned. He won game 1 with his sort of Light and Shadow. Andrew has
right.
came back in game 2 to even the match and would like to take it here. He's led this tournament pretty much the whole way.
Big Mirror there, the 4/4, and he's also got mana to equip. All right, so something's happening here. They should call a judge here. So Chihoi said, wait a minute, this thing's still on the stack. And Andrew is saying, well, you said sure. So there's a little bit of confusion about whether the spell actually resolved or whether it's still on the stack. And, of course, this is the best time to call a judge.
Mm-hmm. Chihoi's deck is he's got Executioner Capsule, Death Denied, 3 Fiery Fall, a Glacial Ray, a couple of Rift Bolts, so significant
Looks
burn
like the
package.
judge is consulting here.
How has your opponent confirmed?
I don't I assume it's like, okay, for example. I assume it's very similar.
Has he responded to something that you've done so far in the match?
No.
All of your spells are just resolved automatically? Not automatically, though.
I think he says okay. Like, okay.
Have you responded to any of his spells so far during this match?
Maybe once, I think.
Oh, like previous? He's,
Yeah.
He'll tell me to stop. And then
Okay.
say 1 second.
I'm going to say that this thing was confirmed to have resolved. That's my real reflective feeling. You're welcome.
That's in response to the equip.
I guess I'll feel it.
All right, so it looks like Chihoi's going to appeal the ruling.
What does he have that he wants to respond with? Like,
I don't
what's
know.
at stake?
In his hand, he's only got 3 mana available. He's wanting to respond to the Mirror Enforcer existing.
Yeah, Chihoi said sure.
Oh, that's what he's trying to do. He
What is
has
it?
Warren Weirding.
Okay.
Yeah. And so if the Mirror Enforcer's on the stack, he can Warren Weirding to take out the Skyreach
Yes.
Manta.
I meant to respond to this, and I kind of said
So
like
back
this.
up, what actually happened? Like what was the sequence of events?
It's a tribal sorcery.
Reinforcer, he said sure.
So that's not actually it.
Put this, and then he said he wanted to respond before this resolves.
Everyone agrees you said sure?
I guess.
Confirm that, yeah.
And what was the ruling on the field?
That the Mirror Enforcer had resolved.
Okay, if you acknowledge sure and he had said that he was playing this, then it has resolved.
So do you have a response to the equip?
What's that?
I'm upholding.
Thank you.
Okay, so that was head judge Nick Fong
He
there.
said sure, so
And
it
he
resolved.
said, look, you said sure, it's going to resolve, and it has resolved. So now the question is, are you going to response to the equip of Bone Splitter? And he
Still
is
not
gonna
sure
hit
what's
in
at
for
stake, though.
7.
That's a sorcery, right?
It's a sorcery.
Okay.
Yeah, so
he thought it was an instant.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the only thing I could think of, too. I'm
Yeah.
like, why? What is he thinking there? But he can't. So it didn't matter anyway.
Yeah.
He's going to get to take out one of these things.
He should have done that main phase, obviously.
Right.
That's what he should have done.
Absolutely. Although his opponent had that stinger, so.
Well, he can kill the Stinger and then cast the Warren Weirding, right? Didn't he kill the Stinger on his main phase?
He did, yeah. He actually Lightning Helix it, so just do both, right? Yeah.
Chihoi has some cool tech in his deck. He's playing Tooth and Nail.
Is he really?
Yes. And he's got that Woodfall Primus that we saw float through Mahara's hands.
Okay, well, that's going to do it right there. Andrew Robdrup is going to advance to the semifinals. I think they can both feel a little better about that exchange.
Yeah, it didn't matter.
Knowing that it didn't matter.
Right.
I mean, if you're Chihoy, you're probably pretty bummed that you didn't.
Yeah, he should have done it main phase, right? He didn't realize it was a sorcery. He should have done it main phase. Yeah, a little bit sloppy mechanics there down the stretch, but Andrew Robdrup has been on top of this field basically all weekend. You know, he went out to the early lead. He was, he was 5-0. He was the last undefeated player. He was he's the #1 seed.